digital transformation is at your door. Our goal at UWI-ROYTEC is to facilitate the development of a skilled workforce, whether it's a degree in information technology or professional development training. Trust UWI-ROYTEC to develop talented people to lead the digital transformation agenda. Register today to begin your digital transformation journey.
UWI-ROYTEC, your path to career success.
To learn more, log on to www.roytec.edu.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for the third episode in our series of live events for 2022. If you have been with us from the very first episode, we appreciate your support. If you are joining us for the very first time, we trust that you will find the conversation educational, informative, and exciting. I am Genevieve Julian, Manager Corporate Training and Community Engagement at UWI-ROYTEC. Thank you for spending another lunchtime with us yet again. So we kicked off our series with an exciting discussion on digital transformation. For the month of April, we will be placing significant focus on information and communications technology in the lead up to International Girls in ICT Day, which will be celebrated on April 28th. Girls in ICT Day is celebrated in over 170 countries around the world. They put a spotlight on girls and young women and encourage them to pursue studies and careers in the technology sector. The main goal of Girls in ICT is to cultivate the presence and digital skills of young women and girls in the career field of ICT. As a leading tertiary institution in the region, UWI-ROYTEC strongly advocates for investment in girls' education in ICT and the creation of equal career opportunities for young women in a sector where men are in the majority. Today, I have with me an all-female panel. We will be discussing female leadership in ICT, preparing for a career in ICT, as well as the opportunities that you hear about from our current students and alumni who are actually enrolled in our Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems Management. So let's get started. I welcome my very first guest, Ms. Simone Litong, Manager Information Technology at UWI-ROYTEC. Welcome, Simone. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon, Genevieve. I'm doing well.
Okay, we're so excited that you can join us today as we talk about female leadership in ICT. And that's particularly why I have you here with us. So Simone, tell us about your role as Manager IT at UWI-ROYTEC.
Sure. So when I have to think about the role of the IT manager here at UWI-ROYTEC, first I have to say I lead a fantastic team, and we are responsible for configuring and maintaining the IT infrastructure that supports all the operations of UWI-ROYTEC. And of course, at the core of our business is teaching and learning. The IT department will lead and oversee all projects where technology is the driver for business process improvement. We are responsible for implementing information systems that support our operations. Also very critical in our role is to provide support, training, and consultation to all stakeholders. And in our case, that would be our staff, students, faculty, and even external clients in the use of technology. I'm also responsible for managing the human and financial resources of the institution with respect to implementing any technology solutions. And of course, formulating policies that will govern the use of IT in executing our operations here at UWI-ROYTEC.
Excellent. Simone, thank you so much for giving our audience some background into what you do. And if I have to make a plug here, I must say we have a fantastic IT team, not just because it's led by an amazing woman, but we also have, and she's the only woman in the IT department, but as Simone said, we have an amazing team. So shout out to our IT guys here at UWI-ROYTEC.
Yes.
Now, Simone, I know that you are very passionate about the use of technology for operational excellence. Tell us how you have been able to use technology, and when I say you, UWI-ROYTEC, the IT department, to improve business processes at UWI-ROYTEC.
Sure. So when we think about using technology for operational excellence, we always have to think about that we are trying to work smarter and not harder. And we know that technology provides us with the many tools to, work smarter and not harder. And it also, in some instances, it reduces some of the bottlenecks or stumbling blocks that may exist in some processes. So when I came to ROYTEC in 2010. So I was not the manager then, but I would have been responsible at that point in time for implementing the student administration system at UWI-ROYTEC called Banner. And out of that, the technology would have been used to introduce online registration for all our students. And of course, later on, we developed online admissions for our students. And in that regard, there was no need for them to physically come into the office and fill out a hard copy form, but they were able to now apply to UWI-ROYTEC online as well as do their registration online. Apart from that, I was also responsible for implementing a reporting tool. So basically, with all the data that's being collected in the student administration system, members of staff would be able to log on to this reporting tool platform and pull from their useful data that will help them to carry out their operations and within their own department. And that's before I was manager. So moving forward, years ahead, when I became manager in 2018, and we had our strategic planning exercise back in 2019. And so I will make mention of the pandemic, but it's just interesting that in 2019, UWI-ROYTEC was already coming up with ways and thinking strategically around, digitally transforming our operations here. So operational excellence was actually identified as a strategic priority in our strategic plan for 2019-2024. So our minds were already there. So some of the things that we had identified to implement at UWI-ROYTEC in terms of using technology, we wanted to introduce online payments. We wanted to improve collaboration between staff, faculty, students. We wanted to upgrade our website because, the website was the first point of contact for any visitor who is now, trying to get acquainted with UWI-ROYTEC. We had a strategic priority to reduce the use of paper. And of course, that meant that we had to use technology. And so we're not carrying around paper, printing excessively. How do we use the technology to prevent these things and to reduce the use of paper at the institution? So those are some of the things. So with the pandemic, what that did was speedily move us along in terms of the direction that we were already heading. So we utilize at UWI-ROYTEC Office 365. And so for improving collaborations, we had made a decision and we started using, before the pandemic, Microsoft Teams. And so different departments would have their teams created in that environment. And so they can collaborate on documents, have virtual meetings, engage each other via chat and so forth. And so that allowed departments to now collaborate a lot more efficiently and effectively without necessarily having to schedule a room for meetings, and having to print a document or send it and get changes and bring it back, or, it being on a particular server that this somebody can't access. So, things like that. We were able to increase that kind of collaboration utilizing the technology, which is MS Teams in this regard. In terms of reducing the paper use, we would have had thoughts around, implementing online surveys for our staff, students, and faculty. So that way, again, you're not moving around the organization with paper for persons to fill surveys and to collect that and to now do data entry. So again, that's a prime example of the bottleneck that is in terms of collecting data. So the online surveys that we had implemented through using Microsoft Forms allowed us to do that. And so even with the onset of the pandemic, what we were able to do is now conduct our student evaluation of teaching online, as well as our staff were able to do their staff satisfaction survey online, and faculty have their other surveys online as well. So the technology is really helping us in that regard. We also implemented HubSpot, and HubSpot is a CRM system, customer relationship management system, that is allowing us now to manage recruitment and outreach efforts at the institution in a more manageable way, all the data again being in one place that it can be manipulated and decisions can be made. And as I say, decisions can be made. We are also in the process of implementing Power BI at UWI-ROYTEC. And so that is also going to help us with data analytics and, reporting and using data for informing strategic decisions here at the institution.
Right. Simone, thank you so much for sharing those milestones with us, and how UWI-ROYTEC has used the technology before, during, and even after the pandemic. And I must say that, because of our strategic mindset and our position of everything that we do, the heart of it is teaching and learning, we were able to pivot very quickly during the pandemic, I believe in about 2 weeks or so. And I must commend not just our management team, but definitely you and your team in information technology. It's because of all the groundwork that you all had been doing that we were able to be so successful. And in your introduction, you started off by talking about teaching and learning, which is the heart of what we do. And of course, students are one of our most significant stakeholders. So tell us how UWI-ROYTEC has been able to use the technology to improve the student experience. We are always working towards improving our student experience.
Sure. And, when we think about the student experience, I think it starts with actually the Bachelor's of Information Systems Management. The fact that we would have designed this program and the courses that would have been included in this program was developed in such a way that we were now preparing our students for career success in the field of IT. So just by that, the design of that program, we have leveraged what we know of technology and what we want our students to be able to achieve in the open market, that the design of that program would have been tailored towards that student success. And of course, when we think about, okay, how do we change the student's experience and how do we improve on it? So we would have, again, with our strategic plan, we would have identified as a strategic priority student achievement and experience. Because again, yes, we are teaching and learning, but our most precious stakeholder, our students, we are mindful of their successes. So at the heart of that is that we wanted to implement multiple modes of delivery and increase access for students. And so that was why the implementation of a learning management system was identified as a strategic priority. And I'm happy to say that our learning management system, we will be launching a pilot of that system come May 9th, which is the start of our third semester. And then a full launch of this learning management system will be done in September 2022, which is the start of our new academic year. Also a part of, supporting our students, we are also working on the implementation of online library resources. And so we hope to have that in place by the third semester, which starts on May the 9th. Of course, I would have mentioned earlier that we had introduced online payments. So of course, that helped, afforded our students the ability to make payments online for any transactions they would have with UWI-ROYTEC. We also have at UWI-ROYTEC something called a Student Resource Center. And every academic year, the information on that site is refreshed, and it includes guides, forms, all the information that a student should know, and everything that supports a student's journey, academic journey, and a personal professional journey throughout their life at UWI-ROYTEC. We provide all the resources for them on the Student Resource Center. We even had implemented a mass messaging communication service that allowed us to stay engaged with our students by sending them messages whenever we had important information to share with them. And of course, very critically for us in terms of our student experience, especially with the onset of the pandemic, was the continuation of learning for them. And so, with the emergency response to teaching online, we were able to utilize MS Teams from Microsoft to continue teaching and learning. And I believe to this date, our students are doing well, and I believe that they are very appreciative of the fact that UWI-ROYTEC was able to transition.
Yes, definitely. We all appreciate, all of our stakeholders. I'm certain that we were able to transition so very quickly and to ensure the continuity of the operations of the institution. So, Simone, again, kudos to you and your team for that. And we are all very excited about our upcoming LMS. We look forward to that student experience. So, Simone, as a female leader in ICT, I have to ask you, did you choose a career in ICT or did ICT choose you?
Interestingly, I would say I chose the career in IT, but I did not do it because there was a passion at the time. I made a choice and I said, okay, I will do IT. And so I started studying IT in 2001. But I would say that the passion, or myself and IT developed a relationship, because the passion would have been peaked when I was working, and I'm in the corporate world, and I started to become fascinated by what technology was being used for in the corporate world. And so I started to dig a little deeper into IT. So of course I went through all the networking and and that systems analysis and programming and all of that. But there was a passion about business processes with respect to IT. And so that actually would have influenced my decision to do a master's in business administration instead of IT, because I felt, if I want to make a certain type of impact in the corporate world with respect to IT, I have to understand the strategic nature of the business environment. And so that influenced my decision to do that. And then eventually, that coupled with the IT is what has now shaped and molded my career that it is today.
That's an excellent point, because it says to us, that IT is that support in terms of where an organization is going, what it hopes to achieve. IT provides the systems that we need to be able to give us the types of results that we're looking for. So, Simone, you said it was a gradual attraction to ICT, okay?
Yes.
So, as we look forward to celebrating International Girls in ICT Day, for young women who are looking on and who are possibly considering a career in ICT, what advice would you give to them?
Right. So, well, one thing, do not think of the field as, one that is male dominated. It is not. I think once the interest is there, go for it. The career possibilities with IT now, it's so expansive, because digital transformation it's transforming business, it's transforming education, it's transforming our everyday lives. So, there are no limits to what is possible with IT. We are in that age, So, but I would say though that whatever field or whatever path that any young woman would take with respect to IT, I would say marry those skills with IT with the knowledge and understanding of the problem that you're trying to solve, or that area within which you want to have an impact. Because I think that is important. We don't want to apply technology to everything or anything without first understanding what is the technology really going to solve for us.
That's an excellent point, Simone. And it's a critical point in terms of digital transformation. We're talking about that whole digital transformation journey, and we're seeing many companies in Trinidad and Tobago being forced to leap onto that journey because of the pandemic. But one of the things that we want persons to remember is part of that digital transformation journey involves people as well. Whereas the technology supports the infrastructure, people manage the technology. And, at UWI-ROYTEC, we urge everyone to focus on the people side of digital transformation, ensure that your people in your organizations are well trained, we encourage you to look at some of the training programs that we offer right here at UWI-ROYTEC. Please visit our website at www.roytec.edu for more information. We also have a live website chat as well, and you can speak with any of our agents. Feel free to also reach out to us by telephone or via email. If you want additional information in terms of what we can offer you to help you to upskill and retool your staff and so on. So I just want to invite Simone back onto the screen to thank her for being here with us on our live event. As we celebrate Women in ICT, UWI-ROYTEC congratulates our very own Simone Litong, Manager Information Technology, on her sterling contribution to the field of ICT. Simone, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you very much for having me too, Genevieve.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize our female ICT faculty. They are Carrie-Ann Xavier, Sheena Sylvester, Anushka Ishmael, and Sherry-Ann Mohammed. These amazing women have been powerful agents of change in the education sector. We recognize and celebrate them. Please visit the news tab on our website, www.roytec.edu, and you can learn so much more about them and the work that they are doing as women in ICT at UWI-ROYTEC. Right, so up next, we are going to be hearing from two current students in the Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems Management program. Simone would have introduced that program to you in her discourse. We welcome Danielle Seelal and Patrice Snell. Welcome, ladies. We are delighted that you can join us today. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you guys are great. How are you, Danielle?
I'm great too.
Okay, wonderful. So we want to jump right into the discussion. And I want to ask you, why did you choose a career in ICT? Danielle, maybe you can go first.
Okay, so for Cape, right, I did natural sciences and I was thinking of careers along that line until one day the thought of not doing something in IT started to eat me alive, basically. And so much so that one night I was sleeping and I suddenly awoke, and the first thought that came to my mind was, what about IT? And that thought jump started or maybe accelerated my interest in a career in IT. Um, what I like about IT. So over the years, I've come to appreciate the IT industry for what I believe it truly represents, and that is better together. Now, in Cape, I had to make a decision. It was either choose IT and leave the other behind, or choose the other and leave IT behind. So I ended up choosing the other and leaving IT behind. But now, now I am on that IT path, and with the Better Together, with Information Systems Management, my degree, I don't have to choose. There is no room for me to choose between hardware, software, data, people, or even the processes. It's it's not that I have to choose one thing and leave the other behind. I choose something and I still get to work with the others. And that for me is a very powerful choice. And every time I think about it, I know that I am on the right path as a girl in ICT.
That is fantastic, Daniel. Thank you for that. And it fits right into what Simone was talking about, her own experience of ICT. While she may have done a number of IT related courses, she chose to do an MBA because it's felt that the balance was needed. When you work in IT, you need to understand the business focus, right? And so you have reiterated that point. I want to bring Patrice into the conversation now. Yes, Patrice. So you please share with us why ICT.
Okay, well, I became interested in IT in secondary school. I became interested in knowing how computers work, what they do, how they function, and all of that. So, over time, I developed a deep passion for IT, and it became something that I wanted to further pursue, and it became something that I wanted a career in. I also like the fact that it's a field that's continuously advancing, and I like the challenge that comes with IT. You know, there are endless things that you can do with IT. There's always something new to do, always something new to learn. You know, there's no limits to IT.
Fantastic. So, ladies, tell me, can we bring Danielle back in? So, you constantly chose, consistently chose your career in ICT. Tell me, what led you to UWI-ROYTEC?
So, from that experience, everything just simply fell into place. And for me, it was really unexpected and unbelievable. From talking to a representative from Roytech to get information about the program, to actually signing up and even registering for classes. We had student reps at that South campus standing next to us, telling us how to register. So that whole experience um, really reiterated for me that Roytech is a good choice, apart from, of course, looking at the courses offered and things like that.
Okay, fantastic. And well, of course, you would have heard Simona and I talk about, our students and the student experience, and that everything that we do is focused on ensuring that we provide you with an excellent student experience. So I'm happy to see that that's what you're experiencing. Patrice, tell us what led you to UWI-ROYTEC to pursue the BISM program.
Okay, so like I said, from secondary school, I became interested in IT. So I started asking around about what university I should attend, and it was Reutech was recommended to me from a past student, actually. So I would have to agree with Daniel as well. The experience was smooth. There was always someone from the student council to take you through the registration process and whatnot.
Okay. Um, Now, I know that you are both full time students. So, share with our audience how the BISM program at UWI-ROYTEC is helping you to prepare for your chosen career path in ICT. Anyone can go first. Patrice?
Okay, so the Bizam program has been helping me prepare for my career choice because it has not only provided like the theoretical aspect of IT, but also the practical, technical experience. So I not just learn about it, but I actually apply it so I can do it in the real world, in the working world.
Right, excellent. And that falls in line with our methodology of teaching. Here we use the applied approach to teaching and learning. So it's really important to us that our graduates are work ready when they step into the workforce, that they're actually able to make a significant contribution to the working environment, and that they are able to bring the skill sets from the classroom and apply it into the world of work. Danielle?
Okay, so I will be totally honest because that's what our audience deserves. Um, I do not have a fixed career path in mind. It changes probably every few months. But what I do know is that I like helping people. And I know that helping people is not a one size fits all kind of thing. With Roytech and with the program, specifically the assignments, that is what I learned. So I learned skills that I can then use to help people. So it's not about, oh, this is a 30% assignment that I have to do. No. When you realize that you could use your Flipgrid video skills, your live presentation skills, your recorded presentation skills, report writing, and so on in the real world, then it will hit you. It might hit you like a truck, but it will hit you that UWI-ROYTEC really knows what it's doing with its information systems management programs.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. Um, and yes, kudos to us. Our program design process here is one that is really in depth. We seek the input of our external stakeholders, employers, government, and a number of agencies when we design programs here. Because it goes back to what I was saying about our students being work ready and being able to use the skills that they've developed in the program and apply it to the real world of work. So thanks so much, Danielle. But I want to go back to something that you were talking about earlier and ask the question about identifying any challenges you faced as a young woman beginning your journey in the digital environment. Now, when I think of that question, I am considering your experience in Cape where you felt like you had to choose. Is it one of the challenges you may have faced back then is that you didn't have persons or didn't know of persons who could have guided you along the path of ICT? Was that a challenge? And you can also tell us of any others that you've experienced.
Definitely. I love that you asked this particular question. So, if you are like me, you would have an image of your future self, and that would remain an image, a fantasy, something in your mind, unless you see somebody and you see part of your future self in that person. And I will just share this one experience in my first year in Addism, instead of going over some course materials for one of my final exams, I attended a 2-day conference celebrating this same occasion. And it was there that I saw part of myself in these women who were presenting. And I got that reaffirmation or affirmation that yes, I am on that path. And fast forward 2 years later, this is my first year in the BISM program. And here I am being that person in whom you will see part of your future self. So definitely conferences like these, um, having girls in ICT sharing their experiences and being that catalyst for other girls so that they could jumpstart or accelerate their career, that is of extreme importance. And my challenge to our audience is when you jumpstart or accelerate your career, would you be that catalyst for others? Would you do it? Would you pay back that debt, if you will?
That is an absolutely fantastic challenge that you've put out there to our audience. And I want to thank you so much that although you may not have had persons in your life back then to show you the possibilities that exist with a career in ICT, that in spite of that, you are here today recognizing that you and the body of knowledge that you now have is an opportunity for others out there to learn from you. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I want to bring Patrice out. Thank you, Patrice. You share your experience with us in terms of any challenges that you may have faced, on your journey in this digital environment or as you build your career in ICT.
Okay, so one challenge in particular that I have faced were when I was working as an IT assistant in a particular organization. The particular challenge was mostly being overlooked due to the fact that IT is known to be a male-dominated field. So most times when the employers wanted anything done, whether it be something simple such as fixing a computer or fixing the internet, they would mostly call on the guy IT employees. So that is one challenge that I have faced in particular.
Okay. And I just want to say that, Simone has completely debunked that stereotype here at UWI-ROYTEC. And of course, I'm sure Patrice and Danielle, they are very well equipped. Our female students and our IT manager are very well equipped physically and otherwise to solve your IT challenges. All right. And of course, the theme for Girls in ICT Day this year, part of it focuses on access. And of course, there's a continued focus internationally on encouraging young women and girls to chart that course in an ICT career path because of the gender divide. So I want to congratulate you ladies for being so brave and choosing a career path that I'm certain is probably not easy, but we commend you for your bravery and for your passion about ICT, right? So before we end this segment, I want you to share with young women out there who are listening, help them to get passionate about the ICT sector. What would you share with them if you wanted to encourage them to embrace a career in ICT and to even come here as a student at UWI-ROYTEC? Patrice, you want to go?
Okay, so my advice to young females wanting to go into the field of IT would be to do your research because, like I said, there is no limits to IT. There is many fields in IT. There's cybersecurity, there's web design, there's databases, there's endless amounts of career choices in IT. So I would say to do your research, find what you really like. Both the ADISM and the BISM programs in particular at ROYTEC would really help you along the way as well because there are so many different aspects that they teach you and they also give you the hands-on experience, like I said before. So yes, that would be my advice to young women getting into the field of IT and also to show confidence, don't be shy or anything like that. Should be confident being a female in IT.
Excellent. Danielle?
So my advice would be find a mentor. And if that sounds scary, think of it as having someone to whom you can talk or even rant. And work with them throughout your career, your studies, your journey. Another thing is don't think that you have to choose and leave something out. IT does not allow that. So don't second guess yourself. Don't say, well, I should have done this or I could have done that. Make your decision, stick to it. You are on the right path. And remember that we are all better together with IT. So there's no career that's better than or worse than. Follow your passion, as Patrice was saying. Don't go after the money, go after your passion.
Thank you, Danielle. You ladies are absolutely fantastic. We salute you, we congratulate you, and we encourage you to continue to be, great examples of excellence and, woman power in ICT, so to speak. So thank you so much for being with us here. We continue to wish you all the best as you complete your studies. Right. So I just want to share a little bit of information about our Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems Management. We are currently recruiting for a cohort to begin in May. The entry requirements is the UWI-ROYTEC Associate of Science degree in Information Systems Management or any other equivalent associate degree from another institution. Please visit our website at www.roytec.edu to get additional information. Contact our marketing department at 225-1299. And of course, you can also chat with us live on our website. All right. So now I want to bring our very last guest as we wrap up today's discussion. Let us welcome Kirby Ann Bushell. Kirby is a graduate of the BISM program. Hi, Kirby. How are you?
Hello.
Thank you so much for taking time out from your busy schedule. I just want to share with our audience a little bit of what you do. So Kirby Ann has been employed as an ICT technical officer at the Ministry of National Security for the past 8 years. Thank you so much to her boss for allowing her to be here today and taking part in this. She works out of the St. James Police Academy and has responsibility for monitoring and maintaining the TTPS communication systems, inclusive of their E999 dispatch center. So I really want to talk to you about this very, to me, sounds so interesting and exciting. And the thing is, I imagine our audience does not know a lot about ICT in the Ministry of National Security and their journey about digital transformation. And I hope we can talk about some of those things today in as much as you are able to share with us.
Sure.
So you have been in the field of ICT for a number of years.
Yes.
So tell me, was ICT your first love?
No, it was not. Definitely not. I started off in finance and accounts. I was a teller at Scotiabank initially. I've studied accounting and business subjects more or less throughout my school time. But back at that time, fresh out of school as a teller at the bank, and as much as I enjoyed dealing with money and people and whatnot, the job became a bit monotonous for me. So I wanted a little bit more out of life. I wanted something more exciting. So hence the reason I decided to study IT.
Okay, fantastic. Right. So you would have had experience in the banking sector. You had experience with accounting and finances and so on. And I'm sure today that you can see how those experiences have prepared you for your current career path in ICT. All right. So tell me and share with our audience, how has the BISM program, being a graduate of the BISM program, how did it equip you to be better at the job that you are doing?
Well, ROYTEC gave me the tools necessary to pursue a successful IT career. Well, as I just said, I was not into IT at all. I was only computer literate, matter of fact, when I started my degree via the ZUM program at ROYTEC initially. But I definitely enjoyed coming to school here. It has the staff from the cafeteria, personnel, the library, the support staff in the office, the lecturers, Mr. Lawrence, Kwabina, Emir, everybody, the support of the staff here was amazing. I was a bit of a miserable student, very much miserable. So they rendered assistance all the late nights. I even overnighted at school a few times because initially I was a full-time student here. True, when I did the BISM program, I was part-time at that point. But when I started at DISM, I was totally engulfed into, studying IT. So I had a lot of overnights and late nights and early mornings because I wanted to make sure I was the best at what I did, which is my usual attitude towards anything that I put myself into. I try to, be the best at it. So that's basically,
And definitely that has paid off. That's why you are here with us on this live, sharing your experience. But let's talk a little bit about what you do at the Ministry of National Security, in as much as you can share, give our
Sure.
audience a bit of insight into the use of technology at the ministry and some of the projects that you might be engaged in and so on, and how you've been able to use the knowledge from the BISM and apply it in your work environment.
Okay, well, I'm going to be as transparent as possible where that is concerned. When I started in the IT field, I started at TSTT initially. I was doing help desk support for them on an on a project that, involved taking over the legacy system that they had existing. Um, I was doing end user support for the business at that point. So I was an OJT at that point in time. After that, I became employed at National Security in the St. James Police Barracks. Um, it was a bit different from what I do now in terms of it is a very dirty job. I've been involved in a lot of, because at that point when I started working there, they were more or less now rolling out this new Harris communication system for the TTPS. So when I came there, they were using the Motorola systems, and they were rolling out the P25 Harris communication, which is a digital system which is what the police service uses now. So that was a lot of work. So it was a lot of networking. It was a lot of trying to fix bugs in the system. It was very intense. So that and what I do now is a little bit different. So now I do more of support work, desk work, yes, but there are times where yes, you will have to pull cables and whatnot. So when I started working at the barracks, it was jeans and t-shirts. Now it's, well, as you can see. So it was a big transition, but I've been involved in a lot of rollout projects. Well, from TSTT, yes, but I just explained that one, and with the Harris system that the TTPS uses now. We also do support for a lot of the businesses that's under the Ministry of National Security umbrella, for the cadet force and CSERT, and there are a lot of others that I can't really talk about. But
Of course, understood. But we certainly appreciate you giving us a bit of insight into what you do at the Ministry of National Security. Now, when we were talking, you shared with me that there are 5 other women in your unit. What is it like for you and your female colleagues working in a male-dominated environment? Do you get the support? What is it like?
yes, we get support, but I think a lot of individuals tend to stigmatize females in IT. They tend to think that we only capable of doing desk work and support work behind a computer all day. But I have been proving people wrong, because I'm a bit of a girly girl, as you can see. I have nails, and I like to look pretty when I go into work. So but I've been involved in a lot of cable pulling, sometimes pulling generators, changing light bulbs, you name it, I've done it. So I think a lot of women are intimidated by the men in the IT field. I myself have never been that person. I think they are a little more intimidated by me because I tend to do it all. So yeah, I don't let that dampen my work ethic.
That is absolutely fantastic. It seems as though you bring the best of both worlds. You bring the physical side of IT, as you said, with the cable pulling and changing light bulbs and so on, as well as you can be a good-looking, well put together female in IT. And a business executive and so on. And we are so very proud of you. But just before we let you go, I wanted to share with our audience, how do you envision your future career path in ICT?
That's a good question. I actually want to go into cyber security. I've been thinking about it, but I think, I tend to go where I envision the world going. So I think that is where the world is heading. I think security is very important in the field of IT, and I've always liked cyber crime. I watch a lot of crime shows, so I think that is the way forward from, in my career. That's definitely what I want to get into.
That is absolutely amazing and fantastic. And, we are here to continue to support you at UWI-ROYTEC, and we're so very proud of what you've been able to achieve so far. And I just want to share with our audience some of the courses that they will cover in the Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems Management. Our guests today have mentioned some of them, but just to reiterate, you will have exposure to advanced applications with Visual Basics, Management Information Systems, network infrastructure, IT project management, operating systems, security, web applications, wireless technology, web scripting and development, advanced database management systems, advanced web design. So that's just a bit about the content in the Bachelor of Science degree in Information Systems Management. It is quite a contender program. It has global curriculum within the program structure and so on. So you can rest assured that you will have a qualification that will be globally recognized. So I just want to bring our guests back on to thank them, these amazing women in IT. I want to wish you all the best. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us here today and for being such great exemplars of what women can become in ICT. Thank you, ladies, and do enjoy the rest of your day, and all God's blessings to you. All right. So we are almost at the end of our live event today. I want to thank you so much for joining us on our third episode in our series for 2022. We started off the year with a focus on digital transformation, and we'll continue to keep that focus. But for the month of April, you can expect to see a significant focus on information and communications technology in our lead up to Girls in ICT Day on April 28th. Join us again next week, Thursday, for another live event in collaboration with the TTMA. You'll have an opportunity to learn from the TTMA the role of digital transformation in the manufacturing sector and how UWI-ROYTEC is supporting the TTMA by ensuring its membership is well trained for this digital transformation journey. Thank you for joining us. I am Genevieve Julian, Manager Corporate Training and Community Engagement at UWI-ROYTEC. Have a fantastic day.
Digital transformation is at your door. Our goal at UWI-ROYTEC is to facilitate the development of a skilled workforce, whether it's a degree in information technology or professional development training. Trust UWI-ROYTEC to develop talented people to lead the digital transformation agenda. Register today to begin your digital transformation journey.
UWI-ROYTEC, your path to career success. To learn more, log on to www.roytech.edu.